everyone.
Hi!
Hello, hello. Welcome to Wine, Wine, and Once, a Once Upon a Time podcast. I'm Dee.
And I'm Lo. And welcome to a bad time.
Oh, it's the worst time.
So every week we are going through Once Upon a Time and watching an episode in order. We have been watching this show for too long. Since it premiered, but we've been watching it together for about 9 years now.
Wow.
Since
a long time.
We became best friends in college. It's gross.
It is gross.
But we are going through and rewatching. Just a heads up, full disclosure, this is a completely spoiler-laden podcast.
Ooh, good word usage.
Thank you. We have, like I said, watched this show since it premiered, and we haven't
many
stopped.
times.
So we have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of foresight, and we are not looking to spoil anybody. But if you don't want to be spoiled, this is perhaps maybe something you should listen to after you've watched the episode.
Watch along with us. Grab a drink. Watch an
that'd be
episode. Come see what we have to say. It's nothing good, I can promise you that much.
So true, bestie. So true. And what are you drinking this week?
Okay, so let's just unpack what I've had. So when we watched the episode... Okay, in my defense, I need it for this episode.
You do.
So when we were recording, I had an island seltzer because, I thought I would start the night kind of something simple. I forgot we were having fajitas for dinner, and my husband made me a very strong margarita that did burn my face off. It had serrano peppers in it.
Excellent.
And I was drinking it thinking, maybe I don't need something while I record. So naturally, I decided to get a beer for recording.
Of course.
Even though I sat there and said, I don't need a third thing. I do.
I
really do.
It's that sort of week.
What are you drinking?
I just have a glass of wine.
Oh, thank God one of us has wine.
I followed the mission brief. I had a beer earlier while we were watching, and it was real good. But, I've got a glass of wine here.
Nice.
Perhaps a second might be on the way, because while this episode doesn't personally attack me, I do feel like I need to drink to get through it.
It's the support drinking for me is what I like to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I think we're both drinking. So this is a few weeks ago by the time this airs, but I found a really distressing article about Jennifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas.
No, I don't want to talk about this.
No, we're going to. The people need to know.
People Magazine is the one that announced it. The people know.
So the gist of this article is Jennifer Goodwin. It's promoting her new show. Can't remember the name of it, but that's what this is for.
Pivoting?
That sounds right.
I feel like it's pivoting.
That feels right. We'll go with that.
I feel like it was something Ross Geller was going to yell, so.
We're going to go with that. So, the article started out fine enough, and then she was like, oh, well, my friend doesn't have children. And I told her, do you want some of Josh's sperm? I would love to see a world of tiny Joshes. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what this woman said.
And it was in quotes, like...
I'm tempted to find the actual quote, but that would require me to read it again with my own two eyes.
I mean, I know you sent it.
I did.
I know you sent it to me because I had to read it with my own two eyes first thing in the morning.
I thought that would be really cute for you.
It was too much information is what it was.
Well, okay, so let's just add, she goes, the best friend and husband were like, well, that's like, saying, we don't have children of our own, and it's very sweet of you to offer up your husband's sperm. How would this work? And she implies, he doesn't have to be in your kid's life. He's your friend. That's it. And she says, and I quote, at a point I was like, no, but seriously, we could arrange this. And then there would be more little Joshes in the world. And I love the picture of what people needing Josh would be. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I'm gonna be fully upfront with you right now.
Please do. I invite it. I encourage it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're a married lady.
Sure am.
I am a single lady with no children.
Yeah, would you like some of my husband's sperm? I'd love to.
No! Absolutely not! Get out of here!
looking at my partner and going, I would like to see miniature clones of you throughout the world.
Yeah, it's an odd way. I mean, I'm sure it was a sweet gesture, and I'm sure it's just a funny little anecdote.
I hope there's more to this.
Yeah, it was just phrased so weird.
Matter of factly, like, this couple did not ask, hey, we don't want to do a sperm bank. We feel weird about that. Could we potentially talk to you about... No, this was like an unprompted conversation of, would you like Josh's sperm? I would like to see an army of little Joshes in the world.
Would that be good for you? Like, I don't... It was a lot. That was a lot to read on, like, a Saturday morning.
At, like, 8 in the morning, you're welcome.
Yeah. It was a lot.
I was suffering, and therefore I needed you to.
I mean, is that not the premise of this podcast?
I was just going to say, that's what this is. I'm stalling. I don't want...
You are. I was going to say, well, speaking of suffering.
Oh, so we've been alluding to this for a few weeks now. This is season 1, episode 12. This is the episode titled Skin Deep. This is the Beauty and the Beast episode. This is the episode that broke me at the crisp age of like 19, 20 years old. I full on sobbed. I wept tears of joy. I shipped the ship so like, this ship sailed so far from me. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
There was a lot happening in this episode.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast is already it's my favorite trope. Full disclosure, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite animated film. Everyone should know I'm holding my emotional support Beast plushie right now.
He's very cute.
He is. I have a weird thing for horns. I don't know.
Bold of you to declare that on a podcast.
That's just a fun thing I like to say about myself. So I love a Beauty and the Beast moment, you know. I like so many when he turns into a human. I'm like, could you not? So it's fun. Yeah, why not? I love the concept of, you know, beauty is found within. That's all great and well. Until it's in a live action form and presented like this. Then it gets a little, I don't know, toxic. Just a bit.
You know, I recognize that they're working within the format and they've got 43 minutes to get their points across, and there's other people and other stories that need to be surfaced. But, you thought the animated film, like, went from 0 to 60?
Ooh.
Too fast? Whew!
Buckle up.
Yeah, buckle up, Buttercup.
Oh, I'm buckled. I'm gonna...
All right. Well.
Let me start with the Disney Plus summary. I can stomach that a bit better. I think it's easier for me. So, when Mr. Gold's house is robbed, Emma suspects he is planning to seek vigilante justice. Why not? Ruby, Mary, Margaret, and Ashley, Jesse Schramm? I'm sure I'm saying. I'll go with that.
I think it's Schramm.
Plan a night out on Valentine's Day. Belle, Emily DeRavin, makes a deal.
You know, at least we've got 2 actresses, and they're both, like, not official members of the cast.
That is true. I last week we were upset about that. So I'm glad that at least maybe that's just a thing we're going to see now in the Disney Plus summary. I don't know.
We'll see. It's an adventure.
It is an adventure.
I feel like their summaries are more of an adventure than the show at this point.
It really is an adventure. It's
new
takes
content
you somewhere.
for us.
I feel like we broke our rule. We promised Keely anytime that Ella exists, she'd be here. And
I forgot she was in this episode.
I
Full disclosure.
straight up forgot. I did get her thoughts on one thing, and I will, if I remember, I will throw it in there at the opportune moment of what she has chimed in with. Just because I think that's a fun treat for us all.
I love that. I love a Keely moment. Right? Keely's Corner.
Exactly. We love it. Without further ado, though, I'm going to take a nice, healthy sip.
Pour yourself a glass. Take a sip. Cheers.
Cheers.
And here's to Skin Deep.
Here's something. All right, we start this adventure in the Enchanted Forest. Belle's castle and kingdom is under attack during the Ogre War. You know, the famed Ogre War. It's the only war that exists. You should really know it by now. If you don't, where have you been?
The sky is red. The sky is red.
And remember, that's not the color of flames. That's the blood of children. Rumpelstiltskin taught us that.
Right, of course.
So Belle and her father, or the kingdom, or what have you, sent for help, but the help hasn't arrived yet. They hear a big booming knock on the door, and they go to answer the door, and in true dramatic fashion, Rumpelstiltskin, the bastard man, is already standing behind them. He makes them go answer the door just to be already in the room.
You know, he and Regina do have one thing in common, and it is a flair for an entrance.
I love it. Do you think that he learned it from her or she learned it from him? Because they did apprentice. She apprenticed under him, but do you think that that's something that he then, like, took from her? Or did she see that and go,
I feel like
this
it's something he taught her and she perfected.
Cheers to that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Rumpelstiltskin has arrived and he offers a deal. Protection for the town in exchange for Belle becoming a servant to him. Gaston, or McNabb if you're me and currently watching Psych and had a full moment when I saw his face on screen.
When are we not watching Psych?
That's another show I kind of just don't ever stop watching.
Yeah, it's always good.
I just watch these two, back to back, all day long.
Yeah.
That's actually not that
a solid
incorrect.
lineup.
It's not entirely incorrect either. Anyway, Gaston, Belle's fiancé, and Maurice are completely against this, but Belle goes all, I'm a woman, I can do what I want, this is my choice, and she agrees and says, well, the deal's already been made and we can't go back on it. And Rumpelstiltskin's like, the deary's right, and
yeah,
so there's that.
More finger waving.
There's a lot of finger waving in this episode, and I like
so
none
true.
of it. I do want to point out, he doesn't just say, I need help. He says, I need help with my rather large estate.
With a pause after rather large. You didn't.
It's rather large estate.
Yeah, exactly. That was
uncomfy.
the right amount of pause.
It's very uncomfy.
It is real uncomfy. Not uncomfortable. Uncomfy.
Said what I said. And Belle immediately is just like, yep, this is it. I'm into this. So at least she knows what she wants in life, I guess.
She also has a thing for horn scales. Sort of, is it a scale thing?
Scaly boy. She loves a scaly boy.
One scaly boy, please.
Mm-hmm. We then move over to Storybrooke, where Mr. Gold is repossessing Mo French's van, and Mo French is Maurice French, Belle's dad. They tried zero. I'm just gonna say it. They tried zero.
Yeah, that one's rough.
It really is. So he's repossessing the van, and Regina shows up and insists on talking to Mr. Gold, but he asks her to please put off the conversation. If you recall, and I think it's end of episode 1, or when Regina's enacting the curse, he says, oh, I will help you, but I have one request. When the curse is enacted, I would like to remember everything. Or I think his contention is I would like to, as long as I say please, you don't have to, you have to listen to me. If I say please,
yeah.
And she's like, oh, you won't remember. And he's like, bitch, I might.
Yes.
Obviously, he doesn't remember.
Yes. We don't know that yet, officially.
Mm-hmm.
Officially, we don't know that he remembers at this point.
Yeah.
And I believe all he says is, in this new land, wherever we go, if I say please, you have to do what I ask.
Yep, exactly. Succinctly
And she's
put.
like, but you're not going to remember.
He's like, then what does it fucking matter?
Then it doesn't matter at all.
He does that a lot. That's his answer to a lot of things. Like,
okay.
Yep.
I mean, then that's fair. Like, bitch, I might. I don't know. Like,
let's fuck around and find out.
Exactly.
So then we go over to Granny's diner, and Mary, Margaret, and David are talking, but they're at they're at adjacent tables, each with a book, and they're doing the thing where we're not here together, but we clearly are. And Ruby keeps saying, do you want me to put the tables together? And they're like, oh, no, we're not here together.
We're not together. We're just talking really loudly.
It's fine. You definitely saw us make out the other day, but it's not an affair. It's fine.
Yeah, nobody's having an affair. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Emma shows up and kind of breaks this date up and sits at the table with Mary Margaret, and David looks very sad about it. And she's asking Mary Margaret about Henry. Then Ashley shows up with her baby and hands Ruby the baby, I guess.
Why not? Okay.
And says, hey, we should go out for a girls' night. It's Valentine's Day. We should do this. And they're like, hey, Emma, you want in on this? You can't bring your badge because badges aren't fun, but you should come drink. And Emma says, haha, nah, I have a call about a sheriff thing. You girls have fun, and just kind of leaves.
Yeah, she's like, absolutely not. Am I going out with Ruby?
Actually, Actually, that's incorrect. I think Ruby would be a great
I
time.
think Ruby would be a blast, although she definitely gives off that vibe of, at least from later in the episode, which we'll talk about. But she gives off that vibe of the friend who, like, is always backing on your boyfriend no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And is always like, break up with them?
Yeah. That is her exact energy. We leave that there. We go back to the Enchanted Forest, and Belle is put into the dungeon of Rumpelstiltskin's castle. He calls it the Dark Castle. He's named his castle.
He's fancy. He's so
he is.
fancy.
He's so fancy. And he goes over all the jobs. He sort of has a Lady Tremaine moment. He's like, clean the halls and the stairs, clean the chimney. And then he's like, also, skin the babies that I kill. And Belle's like, what? And she drops the teacup
Fair.
that she's holding, which is fair, because that's a very upsetting thing to hear. And he thinks it's funny. He's laughing at his joke. And he's like, no, that's just a quip. It's fun. And she does not look like she's having fun. It's like, okay, I broke your cup.
Joking.
I broke your teacup, but you can hardly tell. You can tell.
Oh, it's a gash.
Yeah.
It's a gash. It's not a chip. It's a gash.
You would cut your lip.
Mm-hmm.
You can no longer use that teacup. Later on, Belle asks him, hey, why are you spending so much straw when you already have so much gold? That seems kind of useless. And he says he likes to watch the wheel spin because it helps him forget. She says, forget what? And he goes, can't remember.
Haha, must have worked.
Ha 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 ha.
Aha.
And it implies that a few months had passed by this point since her arrival. So she goes up to this ladder and is trying to yank down the curtains and is like, who nailed them shut? And he's like, bitch, I did. And she tugs too hard and falls down. And it's just a beautiful moment that mirrors her death. And I think that's great for her.
Yeah. She falls off the ladder and into his arms. She doesn't T-pose in this one, though.
No, she T-poses and dies when she dies with her one gray hair. It's a good moment for her.
Yeah. An iconic death.
Oh, yeah. So he catches her and she's like, oh, I'll close the curtains. And he says, no, I'll get used to them being open. So you can see that love is blossoming.
Of course. The windows are open.
Uh-huh.
So's that door.
Oh, no.
I didn't know they did that anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, no. In Storybrooke, Mr. Gold returns home and finds that his door is wide open. And he pulls out a gun that he apparently carries to search inside.
Yeah. Evidently, Mr. Gold is armed and dangerous at all times.
A horrifying thought.
Truly.
And Emma's already there, because of course she is. This is the incident she was referring to with the girls. A neighbor saw the door open and called the police. He was robbed, and Emma threatens to arrest him if he doesn't tell her what he knows. And
you know how you talk to a victim?
Yep. You were robbed. Tell me what you know or you'll be arrested for withholding information.
Yep. Because this is a public nuisance.
Uh-huh. And Mr. Gold immediately accuses Mo French of robbing him and threatens him outwardly to Emma, which feels like a weird choice since she's already threatened to arrest you. But why not? Later, he shows up at the station, and Emma has recovered most of his items, but there's something missing still, and it really upsets him, and he goes after Mo himself, because this isn't working. He needs to find his missing item. In the Enchanted Forest, Belle asks Rumpel why he wants her there. And it's kind of trying to figure out, what purpose do I serve? And then she says, I was poking around. I found some tiny little boy clothes. Are they yours? Did you have a son? And these are, of course, Bae's clothes.
Of course.
She doesn't know this at the time, but they have a nice little heart-to-heart about this. And then suddenly someone bangs on the door. It's Gaston, there to save the day. And he's so tall and ready to do everything.
He's so tall.
He's so tall. It's
so
over,
tall.
Rumpel. He has the high ground. Only it's not over.
Except not!
Because Rumpel immediately turns him into a rose and then gives that rose to Belle.
Who?
It gets worse. She then gets scissors
it.
and trims the rose.
This poor man has no feet anymore.
She has removed her fiancé's feet.
Oh no.
Yep. And while she's doing this, she's kind of shit-talking Gaston, I wouldn't have had any freedom if I married him, because she reveals, I agreed to come here because I've always wanted adventure and to be brave.
Right.
And I wouldn't have had that with Gaston the Rose.
And they were like in an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
And
so we're really deviating from the usual Gaston. Like, he's not a dick, he's not an asshole, he's just a big dummy that got turned into a flower.
Yeah.
Poor Gaston.
He sure is there.
He certainly is. But after this heart-to-heart, Rumpelstiltskin says, hey, go into town to run an errand. And she's like, you trust me? And he goes, oh, no, I expect you to never come back, but I'm giving you the opportunity. And I'm pretty sure he sings Forevermore as she runs away. I can't be certain.
Oh yeah, no, he's leaping from tower to tower and clawing at walls.
I really don't like
Evermore.
The 2017 live-action Beauty and the Beast.
We have feelings about it.
I really, really hate it. But more on that baby later. We'll see. Who knows?
I don't know.
Not I. Back in Storybrooke, Ruby, Mary Margaret, and Ashley are out on their girls' night. Ashley has thrown back 2 shots and a martini. Now, I told this to Keely. I sent her a message and said, hey, in this episode, Ashley has 2 shots and a martini, and she's at a public bar. And Keely's exact words were, underage drinking. Whew!
Correct, because as established in Ashley's episode, she is at best 19?
Yeah, because she has a whole thing of like, I'm only 18 or 19, whatever age she says. And Emma's like, I was 16 or I was 7. Like, she does her thing where she was like, fucking deal with it.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, Emma was 18? I don't know.
At any point,
Emma one-ups her and is like, I was younger. She's like 19, maybe 20.
Like, I will give her 20 at best.
If we've hit a birthday since her, because I feel like maybe she was 19.
Right?
But she's not turned 21.
No. There's no way.
This woman has turned 21.
Absolutely not. But
which is fine. Like, go for it.
Exactly.
But.
So she's very drunk and kind of doing the sad weepy thing. Doing drunk girl night. Love that for her. And she's like, this isn't what I thought it would be. Sean's always working and I'm always home with the baby and it's a hard time. It's very sad. And Ruby's just like, fucking dump him, bye, and goes to drink some more.
Yeah, she like goes to hang out with some dudes.
It's great. Love that for her.
Ruby is an icon.
She is.
For so many different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And I just appreciate that she's like, hey, dump him and go talk to those guys. And then Ashley's like, no. Well, okay, more for me. Bye.
Yep. And Mary Margaret this whole time is very weepy and sad as well because, she can't be with her Valentine because it's an affair, lest we have forgotten.
She's having, an extramarital affair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We go over to the pharmacy and David is buying 2 Valentine's Day cards. I wonder why. Mr. Gold, who is holding duct tape and rope, casual, points this out and David's like, oh yeah, I couldn't choose. They both describe us so well.
Yep.
So I don't know.
One goofy little I woof you and the very romantic, beautiful like card that I'm clearly going to write a novel inside of.
Yep. But no. Why not? So, Mr. Gold with his duct tape and rope.
That nobody clocks.
No one cares. No one, this man gets away with the shadiest shit. Constantly.
All the time.
We flash over to see Mr. Gold pulling Mo out of a van at gunpoint.
Sure. Well,
and he has the duct tape on his face and he's all roped up, so.
Well, here's the good, I was going to say, here's the good news. We know what the duct tape and the rope was
At
for
least
now.
We don't have to wonder about that for episodes on end. That would be upsetting, and I'm glad we didn't have to.
Yeah, that was some pretty instant gratification.
It really was. We love to see it. We go back now to the Enchanted Forest where Belle is off on her errand and she's walking on the main road, which means she's about to get nearly run over by the Queen's carriage.
Of course. Stop walking on this road. Nothing good ever comes of it.
No. So Evil Queen gets out and man, is it a look. She has like a red streak in her hair.
Oh, she
Whatever
is
is
like,
happening, she's feeling it.
she looks like she is about to go rule like the mosh pit.
Right? Like, she is the vampire of the night. The Utada is giving us lace. It is giving us boots and an umbrella. It is a whole...
And a collar.
And a
And
collar.
a collar. A
Oh.
stand, full fan collar.
Mm-hmm.
Very original Snow White, except
Yes.
this one is all black and lace. Utada is giving us Vampire Queen, who might be emo.
We just don't know. So she gets out and says, I'd like to walk, and kind of like takes Belle's arm, and they start strolling. And they start to talk as they're going on their little stroll. The queen asks if Belle is running from someone, a master or lover. Master and lover?
Yeah, because, okay, so it's like this very weird little thing where she's like,
Because she's been there.
I don't like that you've said she's been there.
With the
For
same
so
person
many
is the
diff-
IRA.
with for so many different reasons. I hate the words you just said.
You're welcome.
But it's weird because it's just an awkward conversation because she goes, "Are you running from a master or a lover?" And then like Belle says nothing, and then she goes, "Master and lover," which isn't
What a leap.
It's a leap. It's a leap in logic.
But she goes for it. Again,
and
she's been there. And, Belle kind of starts to allude, like he's cursed, there's something wrong with him, like that he has some sort of curse. And the queen encourages Belle to kiss this man that she loves because true love's kiss can break any curse.
Of course.
My favorite part is as Regina is saying, like, ooh, master and lover, is it this, is it that? Belle's like, I'm tired. And Regina's like, I'm not.
We will keep walking.
It's great. Like, Belle's like, well, I'm gonna go. And Regina's just, no.
You're not.
We're gonna keep walking, actually. I will harass you some more.
Let's keep talking about the disco stick.
Oh, no. She keeps calling Belle child. At best, this woman is like 5 years younger than you, ma'am.
Yeah. Do you think they've ever compared notes?
Lacey, yes. Belle would never.
Well, we already know that Lacey and Regina would be absolute best friends, and I'm furious we didn't get time with them.
I love Lacey so much.
Lacey and Regina would be literally the best of friends.
Mm-hmm. Lacey doesn't judge. She loves you where you are.
Yeah.
Actually. Not like in the, I love who you can become. It's, now you like to murder folks? I'm into that shit.
I'm cool. Yeah, that's good for me.
This is really good for me. Don't stop.
They would be bomb. Yeah. I'm furious we didn't get more time with them. They should have been best friends. And or lovers. Go for it.
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly. So with this advice from Regina, Belle goes back to the castle where Rumbelle is pretending to spend some more because he hears her return and is like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I don't want her to know I was looking at the window.
Up in the tower. Yeah, he's like singing Evermore up in the tower. He's leapt from all of his towers. And he's back in the window, and now he's like, shit!
Gotta go.
Runs. Yeah.
Exactly. She asks him to keep his promise and tell her about his son, because she has returned. And she gets she's playing coy. She's going around like the spinning wheel, and then they kiss. She kisses that man, and we don't kink shame. We don't. But I do kink judge a little bit.
I was gonna say, but it sure is hard this episode.
I don't kink shame. I do kink judge in silence. Do what you do, you.
Yeah, if you're not harming anybody, you do you.
But, oof.
It's just the teeth.
It's the teeth for me.
It's the teeth. He just has teeth. I mean, on purpose. I want to make this clear.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with Robert Carlyle's teeth.
No. This is a choice for Rumpelstiltskin's character. As the Dark One. Specifically.
Yeah, he just has teeth that say, do not put your mouth near my mouth.
No.
Their disease lives here.
Exactly. So as they're, making out, his scaliness begins to fade and he pulls back, agitated and kind of confused. And she's like, oh my god, it's true. Like, true love can break any curse. Kiss me again. And he's like, ya bitch, say what? Who put you up to this? Oh my god. He, like, gets up and runs over to a mirror and pulls back the curtain and goes, you did this! And is, like, screaming into the mirror. And Belle's like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, it's a very sane thing to do, to
great.
Start screaming in a mirror.
Yep. I do that every day. Actually. You don't?
No, that's fair. Well, lightly.
And, you know, he's yelling at the queen through this mirror and says, like, this was the evil queen. And she's like, the queen? Who? Who's this queen? I'm just Australian. She says that. It's weird.
It's weird. Very meta.
So he's screaming at Belle that he knew she couldn't be genuine because no one could ever love a beast like him. And then he throws her into a dungeon and goes on a rampage of all of his stuff, throwing all of the glassware except for the chipped cup against the wall.
You know what? It did make me feel like I want to go to a rage room.
I was going to say, I think you and I deserve that.
We deserve a rage room.
Maybe that's what we do for our 10-year friendship as an outing.
Yes.
I think this is good for us.
Actually, that sounds delightful.
Let's do it. You heard it here, folks.
Let's rage.
We now flash back to Storybrooke. We're back at the sexy cabin. You know, the one that started the whole affair between Mary, Margaret, and David.
I'm sure.
But now it's a murder cabin.
Well, you know, it can't always be sexy.
It's true. Gold has Mo tied up, and he wants to know where his missing object is and who told him to steal it. Mr. Gold begins to beat Mo with the cane, and Mo says it's his fault that she's gone forever because he was her father. So, we're getting some
we don't really...
Getting some hers.
Yeah. We're getting some sense of what's going on, but we don't officially know.
Exactly. Emma shows up just in time to keep Gold from murdering Mo, so it's better. Don't know why it took her so long. Gold literally stared at her and said, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get this guy.
I suspect this man of vigilante justice.
His exact sentence is, bad things happen to bad people. I guess.
You know what? I would consider a bad thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yet to be being beaten half to death with a cane.
I mean,
that is a bad thing to happen.
Mm-hmm. Back at the bar, Ashley and Mary Margaret are being very sad drunks, and they're comparing their sad drunk, sad love lives and being very weepy, and, you know, it's a cute time for them. Ashley wants to be with Sean, but's been considering breaking up with him. Ruby in the background was probably like, fucking do it. I dare you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what they need? They need a kitchen floor.
They do.
Sit on a kitchen floor.
Have
some cookie dough and so much to drink.
Or a kitchen table to sit underneath. Have they considered sitting underneath the table?
Have they considered becoming trolls?
I miss that.
And having people bring them goldfish and Doritos.
I mean, we really had that apartment down to a good system.
It was great.
It was fantastic. So she, you know, Ashley's like, oh, I might break up with him. Mary Margaret's clearly conflicted about having an affair. Interesting. Suddenly, Sean shows up and proposes to Ashley right then and there, who says yes, and off they go. Good for them.
Yeah.
Very,
I mean, like...
Why not?
I don't know. It's odd to me. Like, I get that when you're... Especially if you're young, it would be really hard to be like, I have this child I'm working day and night to raise, and my husband is off, or like my boyfriend is just constantly off. And we haven't, it's earlier she says we haven't had time to do the marriage thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of implies like she knows that he wants to. It's just that they haven't gotten the chance, which is why I feel like it feels weird. I think it would be weird, like better if at the beginning.
If he hasn't mentioned.
Right, like he seems to not have even thought about getting married, and that's something that's really important to me.
Nope.
Because then that would make this moment of like him revealing a ring and being like, no,
I've
been thinking about it. It's just been I've been like trying to work so hard so we have the money to
do this,
get married.
Exactly.
Then it would be like, oh, okay, like this is very sweet. It's weird because from everything we hear about Sean from Ashley, it's like sure, it sounds like he's trying to do his best as a dad.
Right? Like, this doesn't sound bad.
He got cut off by his rich family, and now he's trying to work really hard in a very physical job. From what it sounds like, he works at the cannery.
He's doing the work.
He's trying to work really hard and make some money so that you guys can, have a life together.
I mean, that's too much to ask. How dare he?
He needs to propose to and buy a fancy ring.
Yep. So they run off to be all engaged and happy, and Mary Margaret kind of sulks outside, and she runs into David, and he's like,
Into
hey,
the worst scene!
Hey, I knew you were going to be here. How's girls' night? And she's like, it's fine. And he's like, don't worry, I got you a card. And he pulls out a card, and he hands it to her, and it's the I woof you card for Catherine. It's important to me that you all know the 2 cards are different sizes and in different colored envelopes. This man had no excuse.
There is no reason to not know that this is, like, the wrong card.
Yeah. Mary Margaret's obviously very upset by this and says this should be easier, and it would be if they were meant to be. And she says that he should just go home.
Which is fair. Like, I mean, there's part of me that's like, bitch, what did you think you were doing this
right,
whole time?
and I feel like this comes up a few more times.
Yeah. Like, I think I could accept it in this one because this is the first instance of, like, kind of running against, like...
This isn't working.
This is wrong. What we are doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And again, I don't like that it's never really framed as wrong.
No, they're meant to be together.
To everyone's knowledge in this town, they are committing full-blown adultery.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's not like they know that, once upon a time they were meant to be together, or once upon a time they were, like, so madly in love. They just have this feeling, and it's like, shouldn't we have had more time of them either more adamantly trying to resist and not being able to, or...
You ask too much of this humble show.
I know. How dare I? Sometimes I need to remember my place.
Yeah, that's the real issue here.
It is.
We leave those 2 idiots, and we flash back over to Emma, who is arresting Gold for attempted murder and kidnapping. Which seems fair. Yep.
I don't know. I put the attempted murder and kidnapping in. I assume that's what she's arresting him on.
I would hope so. If not, I'm confused. So we just don't know. Back in the Enchanted Forest, Rumpelstiltskin goes down to the dungeon and is like, Belle, you can leave. And she kind of walks over to him and says, you could have had happiness, but you're a coward. And now all you'll have is an empty heart and a chipped cup. And I can't do an Australian accent. But
that was beautiful.
Thank you. That line meant a lot to us Rumbelle shippers back in the day. We got real attached to that chipped cup symbol. Became a big deal.
Big deal. I mean, and it shows. It sure shows throughout this series.
Oh, this is going to be a bumpy ride. You guys get to walk in real time. Just my sanity dissolve with this ship. Oh, man. Okay. At the sheriff's station, Emma asks Mr. Gold, who is now behind bars, if he wants half of her sandwich to repay the favor she owes him. And he's like, no, that's not the favor. I'm going to cash in. I'm going to get something much bigger than a sandwich. No.
Fair.
This is not it.
Fair.
And Regina arrives and bribes Emma with 30 minutes of time with Henry if she leaves her alone with Mr. Gold. And Emma's like, yep, I will
proceed.
Well, first she hesitates, and Regina's like, 29 and a half minutes.
Fair.
So Emma takes her up on that deal, and off those 2 go, leaving Regina and Mr. Gold alone to talk. After a little bit of really sexually intense back and forth, as these 2 often do.
Yeah, they do have a thing.
They do.
He does the please thing again, too.
Yeah, it's a lot. And she says, what's your name? And he says, it's Mr. Gold. He does not have a first name. His first name is Mr. But she says, no, what's your real name? And he says, Rumpelstiltskin. And then he calls Regina Your Majesty, revealing that he remembers their cursed lives. Huzzah. Regina then returns the chipped cup, and he tells her that nothing between them will change. Sure.
Solid.
back to the enchanted forest, the evil queen shows up to ask about a mermaid, which is fun because that comes up later. I love when they do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I love it when they do that too. It's such a nice moment, and it's nice to see them like actually plan for something that is coming.
It makes me happy. It's a good time.
That was such a minimal statement. It's nice to see them plan for something that is coming.
Well, it doesn't happen very often, you see.
Exactly.
So when she shows up, Rumpelstiltskin accuses her of having something to do with Belle, and she assures him, "Oh no, I had nothing to do with that tragedy." When further pressed, he's like, "What tragedy? What do you mean?"
We just assumed they were talking about Belle.
I did. I was like, she just called Belle a tragedy, and I'm not even going to stop her. That's amazing. But no. She goes on to explain, well, because of her time with you, Gaston went missing, and now no one wants her. Her father locked her in a tower and treated her cruelly until she threw herself out the window and died.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. And Rumpelstiltskin is obviously shocked by this.
And he like, it's like, you're lying. And she's like,
bitch,
no.
I might be. Bye.
I'm not, but like, bye. She is, but she's like, I'm not.
And my favorite is, if you took out Rumpelstiltskin and put in Emma, nothing would have changed, because that bitch wouldn't have clocked the lie. She would have been like, yeah, okay.
Oh no. Still would have been weirdly sexually charged. The scene still would have like ended the exact same way. She would have been like, you're lying. And Regina would have been like, I'm not. And she would have been like, I guess you're not lying. Okay.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
After Regina leaves, Rumpelstiltskin takes out the chipped teacup and he puts it on a pedestal and kind of backs away from it.
And just cries a lot.
Yeah, he does cry a lot.
He makes a lot of cry face.
Yep. It's not cute. And we go back now to Storybrooke, which is where we'll end the episode. Regina's walking through a hospital, giving us very One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibes. Like, it's very... They're going for something.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah, no.
And if it's not that, then I don't know why they made it look so...
I'm almost positive that Nurse is meant to be Nurse Ratched.
And if not, I don't know why they made it...
Like, I don't know. I think it's her, and if it's not, then they're really heavily alluding to it being her, so as to not get caught in copyright.
That's fair.
I'm almost positive it's like actually Nurse Ratched, and I think in the later years she actually gets a name tag.
Oh, that's fun for her.
But right now she's just
nurse,
a creepy
lady.
Nurse in a creepy hallway.
Yep, but Regina, when she gets through this coded entry door, she hands this creepy nurse a rose and walks down this very dark, mysterious, creepy hallway. It appears to be a dismal psychiatric ward. A secret one behind a coded door. Why not? Normal. She tells the nurse that she's here to see her. Nurse knows who this is exactly. Sure. And Regina goes to visit the cell, and it's not really a room, it's a cell. And she opens up this little, like, peek box, and we see Belle locked inside.
Dun, dun, dun!
Voila.
End episode.
Huh.
Well, that was a thing that happened to us.
It happened to all of us. We were all here and experienced this together.
Well, I thought you did a lovely job of reading it.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for writing it.
Why don't you go ahead and take a drink, because you deserve it.
That's so sad.
After all of that.
Okay. So, mostly I just want to talk about the Belle and Beast situation, but first I want to talk about pleasant things. Things I liked. Things that are good. Good things.
Love that. I honestly did not have many notes from this episode.
Neither did I.
It just in because I felt like, okay, everything we saw we needed to see. Mm-hmm. You all know, we're 12 episodes in at this point. You all know I'm a big stickler about just the idea that if you're putting something on my screen, it should mean something.
Yep. And this one it carries a lot of weight. This will affect many, for seasons to come. Like, this is a foundation for a thing.
You know, I mean, not a lot happens in the greater Storybrooke plot, but other than that, we need Belle and Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, do we? No. But,
I mean, credit where credit is due. There are things that Belle does that carry weight in the show, unfortunately. There's the Gideon situation. Like, she births the spawn of Satan. I don't know. Like, we need her to exist now so later this shit
to be
can
Rosemary
happen.
from Rosemary's Baby.
Yep. Precisely.
Great. I joke and jest when I say, do we need Belle and Rumpelstiltskin?
No, we don't, but we do. Like, I hate...
They're super, like, involved in the plot. And
unfortunately.
I will say, Robert Carlyle especially, one of the most fun people to watch on this show. I am so glad he stuck around the full 7 seasons.
He made season 7 manageable.
Right. I kind of love season 7. Not because it's well written. Let's be clear.
No,
it's not.
It has a weird soft spot in my heart for how, like,
it's just bad. It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's so insane and such a complete ripoff of this season.
Down to the creepy cellar situation, which I don't think they changed the set at all for
I
Tremaine's
think they,
little like cellar situation.
Right. I think they put some shelves inside the room that they kept Belle in.
Right.
It's a server room or something weird. But
truly, it's a full reboot.
Yeah. I mean, and I just want to always make sure we take a moment to appreciate the fact that Lana Parrilla and Robert Carlyle are carrying this show.
Oh my god. Any scene that those two are in together, even if it's cringy, even if it's weird tension, do not want, I can't stop watching because of how good their chemistry is.
And it's, they're just fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it's two people having a good time.
Well, and I think you can tell the difference, at least I know I'm talking shit here, so I may not know, but from my perspective, I feel like you can tell when someone's being given stage directions and when they're just being the character and going for it. You can tell when
I think you definitely can in some of these situations.
Just feels more natural. It does not feel like they're being told, you need to do this. Like, it feels like they're really playing off of each other and, oh, we're doing this weird thing now. Okay. I will
All right, I'll make it weirder.
I feel like those two had a running bet the entire show. I can make it weirder than you can. Bet you can't.
Yeah, no, it's really fun, and they are so much fun to watch together, and I am so excited as we move through the seasons that we're going to get more time with them, and they're going to spend more time on screen together. Not a ton. And I will say that's something that I think they did well. They didn't oversaturate us with Rumbelle.
No, they made it
Regina.
a treat. They made it,
yeah.
Oh, here's some gratuitous Regina and Rumpelstiltskin for you.
Right, like it's going to be weird and uncomfortable, and you're going to say thank you at the end of it.
Uh-huh. And I do say thank you at the end of it. Every time. It's just like,
Every single time. No, it's so much fun, and it's two people that you can tell are just thrilled to be there and be on set and be having a good time together. And
it's fantastic.
Sometimes I think with other actors on the show, you can definitely tell especially as we move through the seasons, that they're ready to go. They're ready to move on.
This ain't it.
Right. They just want to move on to other projects, which is fair. Like, this show ran for a long time.
Yeah. Like, I can understand being like, all right, time for something new.
Right.
But those two in particular never made it feel like they were done.
No. Then they definitely just felt like, okay, I'm here. I'm having a good time. I think Hook does a good job when we find...
I was going to say, like, Colin O'Donoghue.
When we get him.
Same energy where it's, oh, this isn't great, but I'm having a great time.
Right. And I think Sean McGuire. We don't get him as long, unfortunately. Stay tuned for my angry takes on this.
Oh.
But he absolutely just felt like he was game for anything. We do end up, I think, at the end with a solid core of characters who feel like they were enjoying being there and understood the show they were on.
Yep. They took
weren't
it for
expecting
what it
it to be a masterpiece, but it was fun.
And it was fun.
And it is fun. But back to this episode in particular, now that I've grandstanded.
Well, another thing that I do like about this episode, and just about Rumpelstiltskin in general, the main thing we're told about him is he's a coward. He's a cowardly person. Cowardice is always his downfall. We see it time and time again. It's why he doesn't go with Balefire through the portal. It's why he refuses to give up his Dark One powers over and over again. And I think the interesting thing is when he first takes that dagger, it's, I want to be brave. No one will ever get to tell me what to do again. I will no longer be a coward. Even this Dark One shit does not take away his cowardice.
Right, he's still a coward.
Mm-hmm. And Belle calls that out. I think she's the first one in the show to kind of be like, hey, you have all this power, like, you're still a coward. Yeah. You're afraid of commitment, you're afraid of love, whatever it may be. You're afraid of something, and it's going to be your downfall, which she's not incorrect.
So
but
true.
She does. I love that she says that, and we'll continue to go back to him over and over and over again.
Yeah, I have issues with the characterization of Belle on the show.
Issues.
I know Beauty and the Beast is your favorite.
No, but
Beauty and the Beast was my favorite growing up.
I was going to say,
she was my princess growing up. She's not my princess anymore. She's...
Well, I think for so many of us 90s babies, when you were growing up, that was the first princess that was like, oh, she reads and has brown hair and is quirky and independent.
For us brunettes.
Like, I will make that my personality now.
For us brunettes.
Uh-huh. She reads and I read and she has brown hair and as do I, so this is my personality.
Right. So I think we all just feel very connected to her, and it is frustrating in later episodes to see perhaps less of the fighting back against the beast of it all.
She literally is like, well, I'm pregnant, so I better fall asleep now. Which again,
that's an iconic move.
It is.
No, that's an iconic move. I would follow in her footsteps immediately.
But it's the move, but also was not something you would expect Belle to do.
Yeah, no. And I think a lot about the times that she finds out that she's been lied to. Oh my God. And there is just no, like, she gets mad.
She gets angry. Like, she has no proof that this man is actually changing for the better, and then gets mad when he doesn't change for the better. And it's like, he never said he said that he loved you. He's never given you any proof that he's actually changed. You've only seen proof that he's not changing.
Right. And I think what the animated film does so beautifully, and why it works and why we all love it so much, is within the span of the song Something There, you see her get information that says this person is changing from this mean, terrible person that locked me up in a tower to my friend.
Yep.
And a person I enjoy being around. And
exactly.
I just wish they had spent more time, or more of their issues maybe stemmed rather from, well, I do care about this person and I want them to change, but I see that they're not.
Exactly. And I think the hard thing is all their interactions that we get in the castle are him making really weird comments and her being like, haha, is this funny? Is this cute? Should I be laughing? I'm gonna laugh. This seems cute. Like, it's really weird. Like, nothing he said is nice. It's usually making fun of you, and not in a cute way, like, just making fun of her.
Yeah.
But remember,
very you like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, don't get me started on the live action. Why does that bastard man take a peasant girl and not go, holy shit, you can read? He goes, ugh, you like Romeo and Juliet? That's probably all she could fucking, like, that's all her library had. Don't get me started. Lo, this is your fault. I hate this movie.
And I'm delighted.
But back to the episode. It really reinstates the whole, oh, if a boy is mean to you, he likes you.
Yes.
Like, it is that energy all the way through, because he's just teasing her. He's not being kind. He kind of does the thing that Charming does, where, like, he does shitty things, but it's framed as, like, oh, see, this is good. He is doing a good. See how nice he's being?
Yeah, they keep telling us that he's changing and he's doing something good, but he's not.
No. Not even a little bit.
At least with Charming, we get the backstory in the Enchanted Forest, where we do see him actually be noble and good and kind.
We will never get that with this man.
Maybe a little in, like,
we get moments, but he never changes. It always he
always goes back.
He has like 4 redemption arcs.
Yeah,
he has more than Regina, but at least she actually changes with each redemption arc.
Yes, I feel like Regina earns her redemption arcs and every time gets a little more redeemed.
Rumpelstiltskin will use a redemption arc to get what he wants next and then take 3 steps back.
Yes.
He sees it as, oh, if I gain their trust and do this one good thing, then I get a step closer to this, which is what I actually want.
Right. Which is fine. That's a very interesting character as
it is.
Someone who is just constantly looking out for themselves, and whatever works best to get them what they want, that's what they're going to do.
It is.
That's a really interesting character. It's just that they don't frame it that way.
Yeah.
Well, they don't frame it like it's
that. And you take a character like that you are told this is a flawed character that has no redeeming quality probably ever, will always be kind of a terrible person. Let's take this character that we've shown is only good. Very naive, very good. Just trying to help her kingdom. This asshole and this good person are an OTP ship, and you should care for them and want them to be together and root for them, even if he is shitty to her time and time and time again.
Yeah. So, how's that feel now that you've had that realization?
I'll put this very simply for all of you. If you shipped Rumbelle, you should be in therapy now. I am. Because if you shipped Rumbelle at some point in your life...
I'm not laughing at your therapy.
I am.
Just to be clear.
If you shipped them, at one point, you had a partner that was probably not great. And you thought to yourself, even if you didn't, if you did not consciously think it, looking back, you probably see, oh, I was trying to change him and see if there was something there that wasn't there before, but there isn't. There will never be something there. He's just an asshole that is obsessed with Elsa.
So true, bestie. I don't have anything to add with that.
I think it's a perfect
just
sentence.
So true. End up on a kitchen floor crying.
College was rough, kids.
College was the time, guys.
But it's so true. I remember when I watched this show with one of my exes, and he and I are good friends now. This is not the one I was just getting very spicy about. But this particular ex of mine, he and I are still close. We were dating, and we always made jokes of like, ha ha ha, we're like Belle and Beast, and that's super cute for us. And fine, surface level, that is very cute. We all have our Disney moments where we're like,
Yeah. And you can bound as them now.
Yeah,
and
super cute. And we did. We went line dancing dressed up as them. Very cute for us.
So cute.
Uh-huh. Less cute when you start actively comparing yourselves and making that part of your lexicon of your relationship of, oh, but we both love this movie so much and we love that our relationship is like this and you're like that. And it doesn't get cute when you start trying to make your relationship like fictional characters. And this show, in particular, this little show.
This little guy.
Uh-huh. In the framing of Belle and Rumpelstiltskin as this power couple, as she's the one that's going to save him, sends a very uncomfortable message of, ladies, if a man treats you poorly 7 times in a row but says, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, you should trust him.
Yeah. What strikes me is we spend a lot of time addressing the Disney, women I should either change their man or wait for their man. Those seem to be the 2 options, and then everybody gets up in arms and they get upset about it and then don't really pay attention to anything. That's why we got 2017 Beauty and the Beast, is because we had to address the
Stockholm
number one, we had to address, first of all, our number 1 priority in 2017 Beauty and the Beast was addressing 10 years we've been rusting.
They didn't. They did not. All they said is too long, we've been rusting. And
but they changed it and now it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now they don't have any years.
I'm very, very worried about it.
No, but see, they've addressed it now, so you don't need to worry about it.
Oh, no.
But so they have that. I feel like they tried to address the idea that, she's just trying to change him and waiting around for him to change, when then they did a very poor job of showing he's changed because he continues to nag her through the film. And then this, I'm like, you didn't change anything, and you made him worse.
No.
You made him worse.
The
Beast in the animated film is an ass at the beginning and then shows genuine growth throughout the film, and by the end has shown, like, no, he changed because it was good for him.
Yep.
And that made him the better person that...
She was a catalyst for the change, and he wanted it for himself.
Right. And it worked out because then it made him a worthy partner for her. But
it's so true, because in this show, he does not want to change. Never has Rumpelstiltskin said, boy howdy, I hate having this power and having this command on the world around me. It sucks. Darn, I wish someone would come and soften my heart. That has never been his thing. He wants his son, he wants power. That's it.
Correct. And we're shown time and time and time again that he will choose power over her.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time.
Fake dagger, lying about where he goes to do things, lying about if he still has the dagger, lying about the dagger. He lies about that fucking dagger a lot.
Rumple and his dagger is a true OTP.
I was just going to say, they really just want you to ship him and his dagger together, and she's just awkwardly
not
there.
a knife. It's a dagger.
Fucking ignorant slut.
Yeah.
That's for another time, but that's a little
That's
treat.
an old quote.
It's a treat for later.
It's a surprise Mascatool.
It is. I'll get into this when we get to the Lacey episode, because that episode means a lot to me for many reasons, but just to percolate on this idea as we see more of this supposed OTP, when Belle's first persona, Lacey, who, she does whatever she wants, is the opposite of Belle, arguably her relationship with Rumple is more healthy than Belle and Rumple, and that should say something. If her cursed persona has a healthier relationship with the Dark One, it's not good.
No, I know your argument for this, and I am fully on board.
Yeah, and I'll get into it at that episode, but just let that ruminate for a bit. Let it
think about
stew. Write it down. It might be important.
Yeah, I feel this is important and think you should write it down.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. This episode is a time.
It is a time.
It's not bad. It's actually quite a fun episode of television.
It is, until you take the context of every other Belle and Rumple-centric episode and put them together. Then this narrative that they're giving me is weird.
Right, like, I think it worked really well as a first episode, but we assumed there would be more change throughout the series, and it wasn't.
Because this show's constantly taking the fairy tale and flipping it on its head. Have it so they're not meant to be together. That could be really interesting. Have it, oh no, Belle and Rumple do not end up together. And that Belle and the Beast are not a thing.
That would have been cool.
That is not a thing. That is not her story. Also the fact that at the beginning she's like, oh, I wanted adventure, so I came here. I wish we'd gotten an opening scene of Belle trying to do more and like, oh, Dad, I did this. Oh, Father, I want to do this. And Gaston being like, no, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, we needed more there to get her to earn
we definitely...
dialogue.
We definitely needed more. I feel like we definitely needed more out of Gaston. Just
right.
Even a little bit of...
Why was he there except for to be turned into a rope?
I think it felt like... And to be fair, in the writer's defense, you're writing only under the assumption you've got one season. So maybe they're thinking, this is our Beauty and the Beast episode. We need to get everything in.
To be fair, shippers at the time were loud. We were excited. We were very happy. We made iced tea our entire identity. Iced tea and hamburgers were our identity after that episode. I think it's in season 2. Belle gets a hamburger and iced tea and asks Rumpelstiltskin on a date, or Mr. Gold on a date. That became our identity.
That's fair.
I drank iced tea exclusively for like 2 weeks.
I do actually remember that.
I had it, like, I would have it.
I remember, I think we went to like Applebee's or something.
So, all that to say, I don't know if the showrunners had a choice. I think it took off. I mean, at this point, they've already established, oh, Rumpelstiltskin, Mr. Gold is Rumpelstiltskin. That is his character. He is Rumpelstiltskin. And then it's, okay, also he's the Beast. Later on, it's going to be, oh shit, also he's the crocodile. Like, they don't know what to do with this man.
No, he has too many personas.
It's exhausting, which, again, could be fun if that's his thing. It's keeping you on your toes of, wait, who is he supposed to be? It looks like he could be several of these villainous characters. That's really interesting. But they didn't go that way. They just decided, no, he and Belle are meant to be, and they will get married, have a son named Gideon, and then she'll T-pose one day and die because she got one gray hair.
Well, you know, once you get the one, it's over.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Gotta go check my hair after this.
It's fine. No, I completely agree. I feel like there is, something there. And I wish that we'd been able to really spend more time. We spend a lot of time. I just wish I wish we'd been able to spend different time.
Yeah.
But then I have
time.
to remind myself, we are in the land of, this is 2011, and in my brain, 2011 is not that long ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 5.
Not 11 years to be certain.
No. And so in my head, I'm like, oh, it was not that long ago. But then if I start to think about, like, what else was on TV at that time?
Yeah.
And think about that, I'm like, oh, Pretty Little Liars
was
like a phenomenon.
The Ezra and Ari.
So, like, we just had not quite figured out this whole
toxic relationship trope thing.
Correct. Like, we were it was like people wanted to portray the toxic relationship, but then didn't understand, oh, but it's a bad thing.
Yeah, like they got too invested. And we're like, well, we can't end it now. People are too invested. It's like, no, you can. You absolutely can.
And please do. It's better for us.
It's better this way. It would have saved me a lot of trauma in college. Thanks.
Well, you live, you learn.
I learned, this show really was my first therapy, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, and it worked out.
It did.
It did work out.
It did.
You're a wonderful husband.
Oh,
now.
I absolutely do. And thankfully, I've never once been like, oh, you're just like Beast from Beauty and the Beast, so it's better.
Well, see, and now if you ever run into somebody and you're like, oh, you're like Beast from Beauty and the Beast, run.
Just say no.
No, and I will say, if you're like Beast from the animated
film, keep doing you.
That's a crackable beast. You can change that sort of human being. They want to change for themselves, and they'll change for you because
you're a good person that emulates goodness and makes people around you a better person. That's great. We love it.
Awesome. Beast in 2017, Rumpelstiltskin? No, run.
That toxic trait.
Get out.
If your man/partner says, I identify most with 2017 Beast or Rumpelstiltskin, you run away.
Show them Once Upon a Time, and if they identify with Rumpelstiltskin, run.
Give them like 3 flags.
Fast.
Like if there are 3 moments where like, I like this guy, then you run.
You run. You get out. David's not great, but he'll be better through the seasons.
At least we see, and we can take that suspension of disbelief of he is a cursed self, which is the worst version of himself.
Right.
Keep in mind, friends, Mr. Gold is not cursed. He is outside of the cursed. He's just a terrible person.
He's just acting like this.
He's just a dick.
He's just acting. He has a really large estate.
I just feel like that's the note to end this on.
I think so. Full circle, baby.
Yeah, full circle. Oh, housekeeping. My list is short. I have nothing. We're starting our superpower count where we're stopping it where we started for this episode. We're still at 9 out of 13 for fails. Curses, we're still 1 for 1. Magic beans, never heard of them. What do you have for us, Flo? You look upset. Talk to me about this.
I'm really upset.
Why are you upset?
Okay, number 1, easy peasy. Let's talk about the fuckfern.
Oh, yeah.
Our relationships that we are paying attention to. So we are looking for, at the very minimal, 3 instances of weird sexual tension, at maximum marriage.
Yep.
And there's varying degrees within that. We're just going to connect any relationships we see.
See
the
how
lowest bar
we
being. Get. Yeah, and the lowest bar is just 3 weird times on screen. So that's pretty easy. All we have to do is we have a confirmed kiss for Belle and Rumpelstiltskin. We're going to put that on.
Hate that.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Moving on.
No.
Then we come to the family.
Tell me about the family tree. What's going on there, please?
Well, first of all, I've decided to rename it.
Oh, I love a rebranding moment. Do tell.
It is the family tumbleweed.
It looks like a tumbleweed.
It looks like a fucking tumbleweed. Okay, Okay. Now, again, we're operating with full knowledge of what is to come.
Sure.
So there's part of all of this that will not be added yet.
Nice.
Right now, we have nothing to add, technically. Technically, we have learned nothing about any kids, any offspring,
No.
marriages, nothing. However, we were speaking.
We were, as we do.
And again, this is not going on right now. This is so far in the future, but we were talking about the fact that Rumpelstiltskin and Belle have a child named Gideon,
Hate that.
which is fine.
It's not.
But then I realized, no, it's not. It's not. But then I realized, of course, we have to have Mila. Technically, we don't know her name yet.
But we know that Bay has a mother.
Bay has a mother. Mm-hmm. And again, this is all futures. But I just need to share this realization
it's for the
with you,
fans.
just so you know why it's the family tumbleweed now.
We all need to suffer together. We're a family here.
Yeah, so Rumple was married to Mila. They had Bay. Mila goes off with Hook.
No.
And they're essentially married. They're not married, but they're
they might be.
essentially
He's
married.
the captain of a ship. We don't know what they did or didn't.
I mean, she could be a bigamist. We just don't know.
Mila does what Mila wants.
That's fair. So, in any case, they're linked somehow. But then Hook has a child with Emma named, it's like Faith or Hope or Pixie Dust. I don't remember. They have a child. It is. But Emma also has a child with Bay, who is Rumpelstiltskin's son. They have a child named Henry. And I'm not quite sure how this is all going to end up looking. I'm going to be perfect, like, full disclosure. It's the tumbleweed. It keeps getting rounder. Like, there are curves in this. There shouldn't be curves in a family tree. It should start at the top and go straight down. This one doesn't. It's not going to, and I'm afraid of it.
I'm also afraid.
That's where I'm going to end that.
I think we're all
again,
a little bit afraid.
We have nothing to add technically to the family tree.
Yeah.
I just had that realization,
That's
and
fair.
it harmed me psychically.
So now we've all been harmed.
So yeah, look forward to that. I will have more to say.
This was a personally bad time for me. I just need everyone to know.
I mean, then I think that's fair. I do feel blessed that none of my cursed personas ever ended up on the show.
Yeah. We haven't asked this in a while.
Oh, no. That's not true. Meg shows up.
Oh, shit.
Not for long. Not long enough to harm me.
I do feel like we asked this earlier in the podcast recordings. I never posted the question because, as we all know, I'm hot trash at social media.
We're getting better.
We're getting better. So, question for all y'alls. What would your cursed persona be in Storybrooke?
Who do you think you were?
Assume
we're living our cursed life.
We are living a cursed life.
I think we are.
2022 is a cursed life.
Right. So you're in your cursed life right now. Who is your enchanted forest counterpart? And or the land of magic. And or the fairy tale land. And or any of the names that they have given this place.
I mean, this one's tricky because, I'm right now in Encanto trash because that's my new favorite movie at the moment. So, part of me is easily, a Mirabelle character, but...
I could sing Mirabelle for you.
It's the middle child-ishness. I mean, she's not the middle child, but she gives me big middle child energy of, I just need, am I too late waiting for a miracle? Oh, everyone around me is perfect and great, and I'm not. I don't know, I feel kindred spirit there. I don't think I'm legally allowed to say Belle anymore. I think that she and I have, severed ties in a way.
Oh, wow. You heard it here first, folks.
In a, we're not so different, you and me, and I wish we were.
Fair.
I think that's what it is.
I don't want to be associated with you.
Correct. And I think it's mutual. I did throw a book once, Belle.
You sure did. That was a thing that occurred.
That's story time for another day.
Another day. Yeah,
no. Who's your cursed persona?
I think at the end of the day, if I'm perfectly honest with myself, I'd probably have to assume Meg.
I can see it.
Meg from Hercules. it's the like heavy sarcasm to
Yep.
hide the fact that you've got a super gooey heart. It's
This is true.
You know, the thing about brunettes with emotional walls, they're
gets
always
ya.
my character. It's
get ya.
just my thing. But it's the feeling very trapped in a situation where you wanted to help somebody and now you're just kind of like, well,
we're here now.
I guess this is what we're dealing with now.
I love it.
So I'm getting mega energy off myself right now.
I like that.
Currently, at the time of recording, it could change. I would love nothing more than to be like, oh, I would be Peggy Carter, or I would be Mary Poppins. I would have my shit together, but I don't. So
actually, I take it all back. If I'm being honest with myself, I am the lady in the 1991 Beauty and the Beast that screams, I need 6 eggs. Because that is how I feel at all times.
Can I be the fish lady from Encanto? Just really focused on my fish?
I mean, I feel like the hyperfixation is I relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. Did you hear about my fish? My fish died.
Ma'am, that was 15 years ago. My fish died.
But my fish died, and he said it would die.
And then it died.
My favorite thing about We Don't Talk About Bruno, which at this point, it's been out long enough. Y'all have seen it. Hopefully. And if you haven't, go listen to it. Go whatever. Go watch Encanto. It's good. But I think my favorite part is that all of We Don't Talk About Bruno, like from the village perspective, it's a lot of people being like, Bruno explained the like circle of life to me.
So good.
And I'm upset about it.
Again, we must insist you go watch it.
Bruno insisted that I learn about the concept of death, and now I'm upset. Yep. And mortality, and that upset me.
You know, personally, I'm glad we ended on an Encanto note. I think my soul needed this.
It's a good
better than that. It was a really
more than skin deep.
It was a really bad time.
It was a really bad time.
But I
had a great time.
I had a great time, and I have really good news.
What is your good news?
Oh, your weeks can only go up from here. This is the low point.
Have a great week, everyone. We cannot wait to hear from you.
Yes.
Tell us all about your curse self.
Yep.
And don't forget, if you have any wild theories or questions that you are like dying to have answered or have us read, please send them in.
Yep, send anything. That could be your theories. If there's like fanfic that you're like, this is it, like we will do anything.
Correct. And what are those socials so that they can send them in?
Yeah, so our email is wineandonce@gmail.com. The first wine is the drink, WINE. And then our Instagram is wineandonce. Same order, wine first, whining as in complaining second. But yeah, I'll put the handles in our description. But come bug us.
Perfect.
We like to be bugged.
Come find us on Instagram.
Yup.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.